into. I-N-T-U. Into. Why into? He says the word into signifies those people who worship the moon too. Hindu is into. This line of his comes even to make all the classes of people agree. I have to bring this quotation also. In the Discovery of India by Panditji, he quotes this line from Huenzang's work. Why? Because though we worship the sun, moon is equally important for us. Why? Because in Jyotishya Shastram, in Jatakam, which is Buddhi Karaka? No? ಜಾತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ಯ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಕಾರಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಯಾರನ್ನ? ಬುಧ. ಬುಧ ಇಸ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿಕಾರಕ. ಬಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಬುಧ ಇಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್. Chandra is responsible for sustaining that intelligence. You know, there is a word called lunatic. You know why? Because on days when Chandra is absent or fully present is when there will be some action scene. On the new moon or the full moon, lunar. So Mati is very, very important for us in Shastram. Since this land, I don't know how many of you speak Tamil or understand Tamil. Well, you know, when Rajas used to sit, the umbrella used to be called Venkotru Kudai. So, if you draw a line of the Himalayas from Arunachal Pradesh till Kashmir, it is like an umbrella for the country. So, moon's light falls on it and then falls into India. That is why Huenzang says, I want to visit the land of Intu where knowledge is important. So, this land was called Intu. Panditji quotes. Now, nobody can refuse. So, in this Bharata Desham, Matimanthanam Avidya. So, Mahabharata emerged like moon. Bhavishyat Purane Bibheti Gahanat Shastra Nastri Divoshadik Bharata Shastra Saroyamataha Kavyatmana Kritaha. So, Matsya Puranam also tells, Vaishnava Puranam Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhinarayanam Prabhum Kohyanyo Bhuvi Maitreya Mahabharata Krit Bhavet, says Parashara about his son Vedavyasa to his student Maitreya in Vishnu Puranam. So, Mahabharatam has found lot of acceptance. Sir, what is my topic today? What am I talking about? Why, sir? You have to talk about Vishnu Sahasranamam, right? Because if Mahabharatam is respected, naturally Vishnu Sahasranamam is also respected, because Vishnu Sahasranamam is a subset of Mahabharatam. Correct? So this is very important. Now, how is Mahabharatam important? I told you Mahabharatam Saram is Draupadi is the heroine, Krishna is the hero. You know about that Sabha Parva, what all happened. They were invited from Indraprastha, and as soon as they were invited from Indraprastha, they were told that you will have to gamble. Draupadi was not aware of this. She was in her Antahpuram. That is when Shakuni tells, see, Yudhishthira has a light sprain in his hand. He won't be able to play. I will play on his behalf. Yudhishthira should have stopped that moment. He should have said, see, he has to play. But Yudhishthira is the one who shows his hand as well as puts the indicator. Very, very rule abiding. So he said, okay, if your Shakuni is playing, respect to you. He did Abhivadaye to Shakuni and he started the game. That is when he started losing one after the other. He lost himself, he lost his brothers, he lost his wife too. That is when she was dragged to the court. And after she was dragged to the court, that is when she goes asking justice to Bhishma, the same Bhishma whom we celebrated. See, every human being, once the divine chooses to be human, they will have to commit an error. Bhishmacharya's biggest error was that moment. When Draupadi asked for help, he should have stood there and raised his Brahmastra. He said, see, as per Article 54F, and 15b. Some say that wife could be the possession of husband. So I may be doubtful. He did this may and all that. That is why Krishna said, if I have to get Vishnu Sahasranamam from you, it cannot be with this body. I have to drain out every drop of blood that you have nurtured and cultivated from Duryodhana's money, and then only I will get Vishnu Sahasranam. He was put to the bed of arrows, drained completely out. He was like the molasses from which are left after the juice is extracted. Then he gave Vishnu Sahasranam. So she asked justice. Bhishmacharya did not answer. Then she asked Drona. Drona and her father were frenemies. They were friend turned enemies, correct? So she said, see, I am like your daughter. I am like Ashwathama. Ashwathama is your son, I am your daughter. You should talk for me. Dronacharya did not talk. Kripacharya never had a voice. He was an extension. No voice. Vidura spoke. He said, this is wrong. But Vidura was immediately reminded of his birth and said, you have to keep quiet, sit down. Duryodhana had one good brother too. His name was Vikarna. He said, this is wrong. Vikarna, you sit down. So everybody, and our great Karna, he is the one who gave the idea. What if she comes with clothes or without clothes? Our great generous Karna, Mahavir Karn. Today he is doing all coffee with everybody. That Karn. He said, this is how, without reading the original, we make heroes out of villains. Uttama villain. So all of them said, then Draupadi was brought to the court. That is when she said, Dhyaya sada savitru mandala madhyavarti narayana sarasijasana sannivishtaha Keyuravan makara kundalavan kiriti hari hiranmaya vapuhu dhrita shanka chakraha Sridwaraka nilaya achyuta govinda pundari kaksha rakshamam sharanagatam. Dwaraka nilayachyuta govinda. Gavam indraha govindaha. The one who protects the bovine is called Govinda. That is when Krishna feels. Draupadi tells Krishna, you have been protecting the cattle race. Why don't you assume that I am also a part of that cattle and come and protect me? Govinda Pundarikaksha. And that is how the Lord protected. He was not physically present. His namam was present. His name was present, and that protected her. Cut. We'll cut here. Go towards the end of Krishna Avataram when Krishna calls his friend Uddhava. He tells Uddhava, come here. Uddhava looked very much like Krishna because he stayed as a friend with Krishna for so many long years that he started looking like Krishna. I don't know how much science is in accordance to these theories, but I've heard great Upanyasakas say, when the husband and the wife live together for many, many years, maybe 30, 40 years, they start looking alike as well. Their likes and dislikes will also start matching. In fact, in Srimad Ramayanam, Valmiki Ramayanam and Ayodhya Kandam, Rama tells Sita, I will go to the forest and come. I have been asked to go to the forest for 14 years. Let's stay in touch. The world is small. Moi. And he left. Sita said, where are you going? I am blessed with mothers-in-law here. You are leaving me here and going? He said, this is Swargam. Who said? You don't define Swargam, Rama. Wherever I feel like that is Swargam for me. And she comes. But in that gap, she tells one thing. You can go and observe. You can always do a fact check. You can always do that. In Ayodhya Kandam, she tells Rama, I have heard my mother say, she was married at the age of 6. In that 6 years, she has heard so much. She says, I have heard my mother say, whoever is the husband in this janma will be the husband in 7 other janmas. There is a shlokam in Ramayana. You're all such disciplined people. I told this in Chennai, half of them walked out. Maybe you're all that happy. So Sita said, You will be my husband in the next Janma as well. Rama said, you come with me. Now let's come back here. So Uddhava started looking like Krishna. Even friends can start looking like each other. Krishna calls Uddhava and tells him, Uddhava, my avataram is going to come to a close in a few days from now. Uddhava says, of the many avataras that you have taken, Paramatma, I feel this avataram has accomplished its purpose, achieved its purpose. Because in Hamsa avataram, he gave Upadesham, but there is no narration there. In Rama avataram, he lived the life of Dharma, but he just did not give any advice. There is only one shlokam, Sakrideva prapannaya tabasmi iti cha yachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyaha dadamyetad vratam mama, which is the only Rama Gita shlokam in Yuddha Kanda. Otherwise, no advice. In Krishna avataram, he lived a life and he also explained the quintessence of Upanishads. So he said, this avataram is complete Krishna. That is when Krishna tells, no. Rinam pravriddhamiva me hridayan napamarpati. He says, Rinam, I have a huge burden, a loan that I am carrying on myself. Uddhava asked, what loan? When Draupadi called out with sheer devotion, Govinda, I feel I have not done enough for that devotion that she had for me. That Rinam, with such devotion, she had 5 husbands there. She had such learned and valorous people around her. But yet in that moment, she said, Dwaraka Nilaya Chuta Govinda, how much of confidence she had on me that I will come and protect her. For that sheer devotion, which is uninterrupted and unadulterated in many means, Uddhava, I feel I have not done much, anything at all. I am carrying this burden on me. So, the one who feels that he's carrying the burden of his devotees who have so much of devotion on him is called Analaha. You have heard of this shlokam? Vasuprado Vasudevo Vasur Vasumana Havihi Sadgatihi Satkritihi Satta Sadbhuti Satparayanaha Shuraseno Yadusreshtaha Sannivasa Suyamunaha Bhuta Vaso Vasudeva Sarvasu Nilayo Nalaha Anala Nilayaha Analaha. So that Anala comes. Anala means the one who's carrying the burden of his devotees. Example given by the commentator is what Krishna carried of his friend Draupadi. So the first feature of of Vishnu Sahasranamam, it is the essence of Mahabharatam. Essence of Mahabharatam is Krishna helping his friends and devotees. The essence of Krishna helping his friends and devotees is Analaha. First feature. Second feature. Rishibhiv Pariganataha. The second feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam, importance is, the names have been sung by the Rishis. 2-3 questions that I keep answering. One day, I have to have Chandra in me. Buddha is there. For the stability, I need Chandra. Because same question they will ask. Sir, in Dashavataram, Balarama is there in one Buddha is there. Arey Baba, he has taken so many avatarams. Padmanabhadi Asankhya avatarams. Even now he would have taken many avatarams. There is no compulsion that he has to incarnate in one place only once. He could have incarnated even in Scotland now. He will be in Arabia now. He will be in Australia now. So then how do we know? That is where the problem comes. In those days, we had great rishis called Vyasa and Valmiki who could get into the person and check if this is an avataram or not. See, how do we know? Did Rama say, right, jumping from Vaikuntham, I am Narayana, Narayana, did he say? Valmiki found out in a very subtle fashion. See, what does Rama say? Atmanam Manusham Manye Ramam Dasharathatmajam. I am the illustrious son of my father called Dasharatha. I am D. Ram. I am D. Ram. Only if it is N Ram, it is a problem. So I am D Ram. I am D Ram. Atmanam Manusham Mani. Treat me as a normal individual. For my kindergarten, I have to go and stand outside and get the application form. If my wife is lost, I won't know the direction. I'll be directionless. I will start crying. He acted like a normal individual. But how do we know he is Parabrahmam or Paramatma? Valmiki beautifully puts it. While he was worrying about his abducted wife, and as he was walking the path of the rugged forests in Dandakaranyam and came back into Maharashtra, he saw a dying bird called Jatayu, a scavenger. Jatayu mentioned that he tried his level best to fight against the tyranny of Ravana. Then he says, Rama, I tried my level best, I couldn't do much, please forgive me. You know what Rama does? Gachalokan anuttaman. Jatayu, I grant you moksham. Valmiki said, out. Normal human beings can't give moksham. See, I knew about you. Slop of the tongue. Right? We have done this. So we had Valmiki to tell us, this is Paramatma's avataram. Vyasa could tell us, see what happened within the jail of Krishna while he was born. Devaki did not compose Bhagavatam. Vasudeva had so much of tension, he couldn't have composed. Right? It was pitch dark. It was raining cats and dogs outside. No light inside. Even the camera couldn't have captured. How do we know Krishna was born with 4 hands? Because Shuka Brahmam was able to look into the jail with his Jnana Drishti. Tamadbhutam balakam ambujekshanam chaturbhujam, he says, through his eyes. So you had Shuka Brahmam to tell a Krishna avataram. You had Valmiki to speak about Rama avataram. We have no munis today. We have one yogi, but I don't know whether he'll be able to do this. So, today also the Lord is incarnating. When he says his Avatara Rahasyam in the 4th Adhyayam of Gita, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, it doesn't mean for Kali Yugam once. Yuge Yuge means time to time I will keep coming. He is there now. So first of all, learn how to unlearn the thing that we have learned wrongly, that there are only 10 avatarams. There are lakhs of avatarams, but each acharya picks and chooses those avatarams that he likes. Ichamina vihara kachapa mahapotrin yadricha harehe rakshavaamana rosharama karunaka kutsta helahalin kridavallabha kalkavahana dasha, says Vedanta Deshika. He includes Balarama, does not include Buddha. But Parashara Bhatta, who is predecessor to Vedanta Deshika in Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashyam, says Buddha had 12-13 names of Vishnu Sahasranamam. Ratnanabaha, Sulochanaha, Arkaha, Vasajanaha, Shringi, Jayantaha. These are all names of Buddha. Why? Ratnanabaha, as per Ashwaghosha's Buddha Charitram and many of our Purvacharyas, the Buddha whom we trace to 500 and 600 BC, called Gautama or Siddhartha, was not the Buddha that you find in Thai massage. He had a huge belly, Ratnanabhaha, big belly, lotus-like eyes, Sulochanaha, tonsured head, a very mischievous smile. That, you find this laughing Buddha, right? That is the description what the ancient prosopographers give us. Then later he became trim, snails came, and then he is found near the wax candle today. That is our Buddha. Original Buddha is like this. So Buddha becomes an avatara. Even Jayadeva says in Ashtapadi, the 12th century Kavyam, in Ashtapadi, Gita Govindam, Pralaya Payodhijale, he includes Buddha there. Annamacharya, the student of Adivan Shatakopa Yatindra Mahadeshika, says, Daruna Buddha Kaliki Dashavidha Avatara. Daruna Buddha Kaliki. Buddha is there. In many cases, Krishna is the one who incarnates as the 10. So get off of that mind that there are only 10. Why Buddha? Why not Balrama? Everybody is correct. Okay. Now, why did I mention about 10? So that I can extrapolate it to 1000. Many ask, you're talking about Vishnu Sahasranama, but your name is not there in it. Dushyanta Yanamaha is not there. What do I do now? Should I go and change my name? See, every proper noun in this world denotes Paramatma. Be very careful in knowing that. Every proper noun in this world has to denote Paramatma, says Vishnu Puranam. Now comes a question. Sir, in that case, are you telling the word Hussain is Paramatma? Yes. Theoretically, yes. Does the word John denote Paramatma? Yes. Because if I say, let's assume I say, no, John doesn't denote Paramatma, then he is omniscient and omnipresent will be untrue. Sarvagnya and Sarvavyapi, when I say he pervades everywhere, does he have geographical? No, sir. To actually from Rajasthan to Arunachal Pradesh only he pervades. Rest of the other things he has outsourced it to other gods. There is no such concept. Every proper noun has to denote. Now there will be another counter question. Then can I call my grandson Hussain? Correct? I said Hussain has to denote. If it is agreed by your Purvacharyas, you can keep. If you have the tradition of keeping it, keep. If there is no tradition, don't keep. Right? If you ask people, see, whenever they want, they'll bring the word tradition. Do you write Vishnu Sahasranamam? No, in our house, that tradition is not there. That time you intelligently use Samaya Nikita Gumata Ladene Hare Ramachandra Raghukulesha Mrudu Subhasha. But Tyagaraja says, I have been doing all this kutarkam from my childhood. That is why I have lost time in thinking about Rama. Siruta praya mulanade bhajana mritarasa vihina kutarkudayena duduku. Siruta praya mula. From my childhood, I have just been debating and arguing instead of immersing myself in something good. Siruta praya mulanade bhajana mritarasa vihina kutarkudayena duduku gala nanye dora. So, 1,000 names doesn't mean he has only 1,000. Every name in this world is important to the Lord. But why are these 1,000 important? Rishibhiv Parigitani, because these names have been chosen by the rishis. You remember this line, Rishibhiv Parigitani Tani Vakshyami Bhutaye. These set of 1,000. So, Dushyanth is not there in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Correct? It is not there. You search, you put a control F and do. Generally, when I used to tell my name before, now people are aware. Dushyanth, Duryodhan, somewhere close. I wish I had that power. So, all these names have been chosen by the rishis. The second important feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam, Rishibhiv Pariganataha. Rishis have chosen the name. Which name will you give as an example for this, sir? There are wonderful names. Let us go to Ramayana. Rama should not feel bad. We are talking only about Krishna. Vishwamitra comes. Vishwamitra comes and seeks the intervention of Dasharatha. He tells, see, I have been performing Ahoratra Yagyam. But there are some sons of Tataka who have been detrimental to our very process of realizing Parabrahma. I have the power to fight them, but how will I conduct the Yagyam and do both? I have to have an AK-47 next to me and keep Indraya Swaha Yamuna. What will I do? So I need your help. Immediately Dasharatha thought, he is being called. He said, okay, get my bow and the quiver of arrows. Why are you coming? Then whom do you want, sir? I want that darkest son of yours. See, if this line were to be told in America, Vishwamitra will be in the jail. They'll say Black Lives Matter. Our Anushka's pati will put his foot down. Black Lives Matter. In our life, in Sanatana Dharma, only black lives have mattered. Draupadi, Krishna, Rama, Kali, Parvati, they are all dark people. Fair people, they have not got a fair chance at all. So we were never racist in nature. Somehow it has come to us. Now there are many advertisements. If you see, that there'll be one girl, she'll be upset. Two men will come see her, they won't marry her. Then suddenly there'll be one light from the top. Some angel will come and give one paste. She will apply, she'll become fair. Nalina Kantimati. Kantimati, full of radiance. Then immediately the boy. This is where we have become racist now. Where we were, where we are today. Color. See, when the moment they have me in their list, in any venue, they will put lights on me. Black lives matter. Because for me, if you put light only, you can see me. But that's okay. So, in Srimad Ramayanam, Vishwamitra tells, give the eldest of your son, the darkest of your sons. Dasharatha, BP becomes 60 by, I don't know, he falls down. Then they sprinkle some Bovonto on him and wake him up, and they ask him, why are you? You have asked for my life. You have not asked for me. Rama is my Atma. But then Vasishtha intervenes and says, see, Dasharatha, I may be at odds with Vishwamitra, but one thing I agree upon, there is no one as capable and adept as your son Rama. Send him. I give my permission. See, whenever we used to finish one semester, we had to get no due certificate. We had to go to the library. Then that library, we would have never read one book. But that librarian has to say, not one book borrowed. Immediately he will sign and give. So similarly, Vasishtha said, no objection from my side, send Rama. Rama goes with Lakshmana to the forest. As they go, see, they need to talk. Vishwamitra is a new person. Vishwamitra wants to break the ice and he starts narrating stories. That is when he starts with Kumara Sambhavam. See, today we know Kalidasa's Kavyam as Kumara Sambhavam, but the original word Kumara Sambhavam comes in Valmiki's Ramayanam in Balakandam. He talks about how Shara Vana. Shara is weeds. Vana is the forest. So this little boy was born in that Vana. So he's called Sharavana. In Tamil language it becomes Saravana. Na becomes Nana, Sa becomes Sha becomes Sa. So Kartikeya is spoken in Valmiki's Ramayanam. So he narrates that. Then he talks about Gangotpatti, how Ganga came, how Bhagiratha did his penance, how the Nagaris of Vishala was formed, how Shiva burnt Kama into ashes, Kamashrama. All this comes. 9 stories were told, narrated by Vishwamitra to Rama and Lakshmana. Nava in Sanskritam means 9. Nava also means new. So Vedanta Deshika uses this as a beautiful sledai. He says, Nava Vividha Katha, 9 stories were told in a new contemporary fashion by Vishwamitra to Rama. That night Rama sleeps, next morning he has to wake up. Correct. I've told this in many of my lectures. Again, I'm telling, some of you may have heard, some of you may not have heard, some of you, I'm confident, would have heard and forgotten. That I'm confident about. We are generally told in that 14 years of Vanavasam, Lakshmana did not sleep for even one night. He would have died in the 6th day itself. Medically, it is impossible. Correct? This is where our acharyas come to our rescue. How logical they were. The commentator of Ramayanam 1000 years back states, there is one concept going on. He tells in his Samskrita Vyakhyanam, there is a concept or there is a talk going on that Lakshmana did not sleep for 14 years. I will prove you wrong, he says. And then quotes a line from Ayodhya Kandam where Rama goes and wakes up Lakshmana and says, Lakshmana, I have already woken up, you wake up. So Lakshmana slept. Sir, then I've heard that Lakshmana did not sleep. He did not sleep well. See, many of us sleep. Do we sleep well? He was worried. How can my brother languish in this rugged path of the forest, I am not getting proper sleep. So he did not sleep well. Add that well after sleep. If you remove that word, he did not sleep. Wrong. So Rama and Lakshmana were sleeping. Vishwamitra got up at 3:45 itself. Early to bed, early to rise. He got up at 3:45. He wanted a cup of coffee. Many people, they love coffee after they get up and before they sleep. Like it is like that pranavam before Vedam and after Vedam. Madhva Swami, Pejavar Swami used to humbly and in a very humorous way state, every morning you take coffee. It is aradhanam, he used to say. Shuklam baradharam, white color milk. Shuklam baradharam, Vishnum shashivarnam chaturbhujam. The person who gives coffee has two hands, the one who receives it has two hands, four hands. Chaturbhujam. After you have